What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. You probably have seen from the description something special in the description there. Definitely hit that link in the description. Anyways, you guys, we're talking about don't get locked out of investing in a $9 billion industry. Um, Essentially, $9 million was also almost hit. So it's like 8 point something billion, almost hit 9 billion last year. And the reason I'm doing this course, reason I'm doing this study, and more things might get added to the course if I actually go to the marijuana convention and just record myself live talking to people and all that good stuff, is because I don't want people locked out of another industry. What is another industry? I hear all the time in videos and conversations, well, the Koreans have us locked out of the hair care industry. That's a $500 billion industry. And if you haven't noticed, Korean Americans have significantly raised their standard of living off of $500 billion. So again, it's only at 9 billion, but don't miss out the start of an industry being hesitant. Research, get yourself the foot in the door. See if that is purpose for you, if that works with your future, if that works with where you think you want to go in the future. Because a lot of times what happens is people say, well, I thought about buying Apple. I thought about buying Google. I thought about buying Microsoft. Man, if I'd have bought more IBM back in the day. And they're talking from a past tense kind of way of like, oh yeah, I totally thought about doing that. I just didn't do it. And when you ask them, why didn't you just do it? It's the weirdest answers you ever seen. It's like a weird shuffling of answers of, well, this was going on in my life, or that was going on in my life. Never the direct, you know what? I just didn't punch it. I didn't punch the ticket. I didn't buy the product. I didn't buy the stock. I didn't do whatever it is I needed to do. And a lot of times I know that's the true answer, and people just won't say that because that's hard to say. That's hard to say. I missed out on something that was right in front of my face. The best thing I ever heard from Jay-Z, which I don't really listen to Jay-Z's music, is he saying he could have bought a property in Dumbo. What he meant is somewhere in Brooklyn under a bridge or whatever, when it was 3 mil, now it's 50 mil. And that's the sad part. Like, he had the money at the time. Someone came to him, approached him about that, and he had the money at the time and didn't do it. So what does that tell you? There's so many people who are missing out on opportunities. You've got to take action. So the course is together. I'm going to share the screen. I think I am going to be able to show you kind of what the intro part of the course looks like. I think I can see if my screen will act right. It may not act right today, folks. Oh, I think we may have it. So look, bring your questions. Oh, dude, thank you, Jonathan Phillips. Jonathan Phillips hit it with a $5 super chat. I appreciate it. So the course today, also for the next 24 hours, the course is going to be $65. After 24 hours, it's going to be back up its price. So we're going to have it as $97 on the website. So we're going to go check out the course and check out some of the information. And again, stick with questions that go on today's topic. It's a Freedom Friday. It's a Marijuana Freedom Friday. And I think it's hilarious because I definitely want you guys to check out some of the items that we have available. So here we go. Go ahead and get to sharing the screen. All right. Hopefully you guys can see this. Please tell me if you can see this. If you can't, let me know. This is on the Big Real Estate Life. The link is actually in the description. Investing in marijuana's future billion-dollar industry. If you see the beginning of this, for example, in 2017, Aurora Cannabis soared 369%. Emerald went up 288%. MedLeaf, all these different companies went up. If you're really serious about this, check out this course, right? We're going to outline 15 potential marijuana investments, but not only we're going to do that, we're going to talk about how you get loans, financing, and how to connect with other people in the business, okay? This course is not for you if you're expecting to get rich overnight, if you're looking for a guaranteed return, if you want to fire your boss and travel the world, that's a whole nother course. If you do not want to do your own research before investing any money. Want to not follow your state laws, do not take this course and say, I took this course and Erica told me I could have a grow house. No. That is not true. That is not true at all. If you're looking for day trading tips, this is not the course for you. If you do not expect anything more than $3, it's not the course for you. If you're looking for Forex tips, this is not the course for you. We've all heard get rich pitches before, and this is just not that. This course is if you want to learn about the marijuana industry, marijuana stocks, investing, how you can become an investor, how you can actually apply for loans for your business, how to get exposure and knowledge about different ways to invest, how to open a trading account, because many people said something about, Erica, you haven't showed anybody how to open a stock account. So we have not one, not two, but 3 options on there for you guys to see. So as you scroll down, you'll see here industry products, introduction to marijuana, volatility, marijuana stocks review, ETF exposure, direct exposure, indirect industry exposure, how to buy stocks, and ground floor investing in marijuana companies and products. So you want to get started in medical marijuana industry. How do I meet over 18,000 other marijuana professionals? You can watch that one for free. Celebrities making money off the cannabis industry. And thank you for taking the course. There's more things we might add in the future if we get to go to the marijuana conference in New Orleans, but that also has some time schedule conflicts with my Detroit trip. So for your questions, how are you guys doing today? It's a Freedom Friday. I want you guys to win, but I can't win it more than you. So all right, sorry about that. I think I hit mute. My bad, you guys. So on here, let me see what some of you guys are saying. Greetings, Frankie Robertson. ePimp, hello. ePimp, you got to pull the trigger. That's very true. Again, thank you, Jonathan Phillips, for the super chat. Feel free to super chat if you're not going to buy the course. Hey, I'm okay with that too. Saw a very interesting discussion between Dr. Boyce and someone recently. The importance is to get in early. Yeah, the importance to get in early, to do your research, to know if, hey, Erica, I actually want to move to one of these states and actually start a grow house. Okay, I'm going to watch this particular video and learn who I have to apply with. How do I apply to these companies? How do I meet these investors? How do I do these steps? And that's truly, truly the best part for most people is figuring out where do you want to be. Do you want to have a job in the industry? And it's not just marijuana grow yard jobs or security jobs. These are tech jobs. These are ambassador jobs. These are sales jobs. There are various jobs available in the industry, not only in California, not only in Washington, Oregon, also in Texas. There's a lot of different places. A lot of different places you can work and have opportunity. But the key here is taking action, taking that foot and that step and knowing, okay, I have the information and I can deploy it. And that's usually what I do on this channel. It's what I talk about a lot. It's a Freedom Friday. And I think I'll see some of the questions. Sorry. Yes, Maurice Anderson, I actually do go over how do you get the money and the financing to buy one. So this course is basically a great overview of how to get financing, how to connect with people, how to network, and how to invest, not only in stocks, but also in companies, also in teams, also in firms. You have food, you have dispensaries. It's a lot of options there. But again, the choice is yours. This may not be the course for you. I have other courses you guys can work with. Tax liens, that may be more your style. That's guaranteed government money. There's just different things people can do. So again, the link is in the description. Totally up to you guys. It's a Freedom Friday, and I'm just excited to have it done. It was a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of information to try to cram in a malleable way so that people could get it, people could understand it. So also, I was looking and checking out craft beer industries. Many people will say, Erica, what's the big deal about vape shops? Vape shops, some particular industries and franchises make $26,000 a month. So that's not everybody, but some of the people in the industry are making that, and I think that's super crazy. Let's see. ePimp said, I have been an advocate for anti-prohibition for a long time, had to step outside my own prejudices and look at it from a business perspective. Seems like tremendous upside. Well, here's the thing. The crazy part is so many people always say, well, I should have bought that, or I should have did that, or I could have started that business years ago. And when you don't, it's just nothing but frustration for you because now you see somebody else doing it. Again, I told you guys when I had a group of people, we were all going to start YouTube channels. I was the only one who went through 3-4 years later talking to people like, I think I still want to do it. I'm like, well, go. You're already 3 years behind. The choice is yours. You could use this as part of your portfolio. It doesn't have to be your whole portfolio. But again, when people say, Erica, Jeff Sessions is very he's anti-drugs. He's locking everybody up. But the demographics have changed. I told you guys in the last video, Aunt Susie, Aunt Becky, Cousin Jenny, these people in the suburbs are getting locked up. And so what is a great alternative to opiates? It's drug rehabs. It's alternative medicines. The vote came down today, 12 hours ago, technically, in Illinois, 44-6 to allow marijuana as an alternative to opioids. Why is that happening? Because people in mass are doing the prison to pipeline, right? We talked about how 50% increase of white women going to jail related to drugs, pills, heroin, and meth, and drug-related charges. And so why is that happening? Because we don't have all the answers, and this is just a next step. We talked about in the last video how it's cash crop. It's a cash crop potential. Why are the 20 states that want to push this all in the Midwest? Because they know corn is going down in certain sales because they had to rename corn as a certain type of natural sweetener. Now, we all know corn is not a natural sweetener. We all know the side effects. We've watched plenty of documentaries on Netflix about it, and that's just it. So they need another cash crop. Now, am I the biggest fan of Big Pharma taking, Big Pharma, as we say, taking complete foothold of this? No. That's why I made this course. That's why I talk about how to get connected, how to open up your own places, how to start your own grow house. How do you get involved in investment groups who are investing in grow houses, who are funding grow houses? These things are important because I don't want to look up in 10 years and people say, well, they're taking advantage of people. They're locking us out of the industry. And that's just not true. There's several different people of all races who have already started investing in cannabis products. And we're talking about oils, dry plant. We're talking about capsules, all those things. It's very important to pay attention to the trends that are happening in front of you. Illinois vote today. You have, I think, over 10 states voting in November. And a lot of these states, now already you have on the map, if you see the course in the map, you have California, Colorado, Oregon, Washington, Alaska, Hawaii for medical. And then you also have a few other states that I thought were interesting for medical, and it was Arizona and New Mexico. Why? Arizona and New Mexico have a lot of elderly retirees. Walter Hunter, the course is already live. You can actually click it in the description and go straight to it. Thank you, Lamar Jones. Says great info. Appreciate it. These areas have an elderly population. And if doctors are being weaned off of writing prescription pain pills, who is that going to affect? That's going to affect the elderly. That's going to affect children. That's going to affect people with chemo. They're trying to cut down on the level of prescription pills being written out due to the opiate crisis and people not wanting people to break in your house and steal your medicine. They're trying to prevent that. And how do we prevent that? We prevent that by switching to alternative medicine. This isn't just a trend. This is a United States trend. If you're talking about almost having $9 billion made in 2017, it's a big deal. Right now, I think Colorado just purchased a thing where if you've seen the houses in Colorado, the housing, it's actually tripled. The amount of people buying houses cash it kind of exploded there. Why? Because people actually can't put their money in the bank. We talk about in the course the alternative funding, the alternative banks, the way the money is kind of being housed because they're just walking around with cash. They're walking around with cash. And a lot of people are having trouble getting approved for housing loans, car loans. So what happens? It builds a giant list, which we share in the course, of all these companies that are investing and giving loans and doing interactions that way because that's the easy way for those companies to get money. So you don't have to invest directly into the stocks. You don't have to invest directly into a plant. Even one of the companies we share on here says, do you feel comfortable investing directly in a plant, or would you like to invest in just the equity of the business, right? And so we share that because I think that's important because you're going to have people, even though they want to make money, they kind of want to have that severed relationship just in case they have a crop yield go bad, whatever. They have different reasons why they don't want to be completely connected to that. But yeah, the course is only going to be $65 for the next 24 hours. After today, technically after 24 hours, it's going to be $97, which is his regular price. I got so excited because I saw Nipsey, and someone had sent me this, and I appreciate that in Instagram, but it was Nipsey's dispensary. Many of these young artists who know that hit songs don't last forever. There's about 26 different rappers and musicians who are heavily invested in cannabis. And of course, Snoop Dogg's one of them. But we go over in the course and we talk about these people. Why are they doing that? Because that's the trend. If you're out west, alternative medicine is a trend. Now, what's funny is I remember my friend talking about, let's go do yoga. And yoga was popular over 20 years ago. Yoga's not this new thing. It's just new to us. It's just new to us, right? Like as a younger generation, something becomes popular. We joke about yoga pants and we joke about yoga and hot yoga, but these things have been going for 20 years. And the people who make a lot of money are people who own several yoga studios, several yoga parts, private industry label items, yoga videos. When I go look for yoga videos at Target, most of them were made in the early 2000s. They're old. The people who run the video are now probably quite old, but that's the problem when it comes to investing. People, by the time it's hot to you and your neighbor and the man working at the gas station, example, Bitcoin, it's already at a peak in the marketplace. So that's why I did this course. I try to provide information that gets people foot in the door. Someone tagged me. He's in Hawaii. I think his name is Timothy. Watches the channel often. He said, thank you for helping him get into investing. And it's very simple. I mean, I literally have on my phone maybe 7 different apps. I don't think you guys can see that. Let me see here. That's StockPal. And then just on that side alone, we have E-Trade. I doubt y'all can see that. Can y'all see that? That's just not going to focus, is it? Nope, that's not going to focus. So we have E-Trade. Sorry about that. We have E-Trade. Right now I'm looking. E-Trade, Stash App, StockPal, Acorns. Mostly investing items on the phone. Why? Because that's where my attention goes. Where your attention goes, you can focus and do those type things. Let's see here. Let's see what other questions. Erica, will the rise of cannabis industry provide a back for crypto? How do you profit from that state to state? Reframe that question. 99.97 is still good. Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate it. So what I think is going to happen in a lot of industry, and like some of the videos you see where we show one of the management companies just making stacks on stacks, right? Like millions of dollars are pouring in from their team of investors, and they use it for phone apps. They use it for accepting blockchain technology. They use it for a lot of different things. People are going to have multiple ways to pay for services, pay for goods. The key here is legislation. Legislation makes some of the stocks go up and down, up and down. Some of them are waiting, like they're sitting there waiting on the release of a drug their company's working on in order to have an upswing, in order to have the big sale, because for some of these stocks, if they have a drug that hits the market and knocks it out of the park because they have so few drugs, they might triple in price. So they are volatile. It is some risk. I always tell everybody to be careful when you invest in these and do your research. Just simply do your research. What is your level of comfort? Your level of comfort may just be an ETF, which is a mix. An ETF is just a mix or collection of companies to kind of safeguard you from the full brunt investment in just one stock. So also in the course, we added how to buy stocks, how to buy it from your phone, how to also buy Vanguard and a couple other ones, because we had the question a lot of times of how do you buy stocks? That's coming up a lot in the comments. And so just in case, just because I do something all the time doesn't mean other people do it all the time. So I did a whole couple videos on how to buy stocks, how to go in, how to sign up, how to get your bank account linked. And that way you can do some investing that way. But there was a lot of comments about people asking about how to have a grow house. And at the end of the day, you're going to need a team. It's not just be security. I was being lighthearted in the video, but it's not just security, but it's also investors. It's also protection from if you have a bad crop yield, or one company, crop prices went from $2 to $1. So it really almost cut that company in half. And we talk about that in the course. So the thing I'm hoping to add to the course maybe later is going to the marijuana conference in New Orleans, because I think it's going to be very exciting. The one in California had like 18,000 people, and there's like a trade show. So it's interesting. All the products, like if as long as you're not in New York, you're fine. But what's funny is one of the trade shows went to New York, and they could not, for whatever reason, have actual product. They had to have just displays, empty displays, because it's still weaving the bounds of legislation, right? What's medical, what's recreational use. I think it's interesting, and I think many of you, if you take a visit to Colorado and check out some of the actual dispensaries yourself, you get a better handle on it. So some worries people have is Jeff Sessions, but at the end of the day, I really feel like Jeff Sessions and Donald Trump, some to a degree, are the old guard. And they may want something, but the way the economy is pushing in, also the way the voters are voting, especially even in Texas. North Carolina had a hard time. North Carolina basically did not vote in the way that many of its constituents wanted. So we're back at square one, I think, with medical marijuana in North Carolina. We have Texas having some push, Texas having some change in senators. But again, I think veto is probably the future of what you'll see from the Democratic Party as far as, yeah, we're going to totally bring in alternative medicine. And also the guy in Pennsylvania. Not that they'll be the only ones. I think you'll have a lot of Republicans too also who will have to go, yeah, sure. I mean, I looked at the vote in Illinois, and it was a lot of Republicans in the edges that weren't inside Chicago, but like on the edges in smaller towns who voted yes. So 44-6 vote. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big swing. So, I see what you're saying, Pam. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to ways to do it, there are a few banks we talk about in the video who there's like one who basically has now started opening the door. They have very creative ways they've moved the money around. Some people are moving silver, some people are moving just gold, all kind of weird stuff they've done to accommodate. And so California, I think, is a little bit better on this. But again, FDIC laws are the laws. Can't fight the law. You have to just go through the process and work through legislation. But again, that's why they need money from investors. That's also why they need people who can do loans. You could even come into Colorado and do loans because they don't have that quick access to the bank, and they keep saying who's funding it. The big thing that was going on in Colorado recently was making sure in January to pass a bill that allowed outside investors to come in. Now, what does that mean? A lot of these states have investment groups that are located in their state. California is like sweeping past Colorado as far as investors because, of course, what's going on in California right now, almost 80% of a lot of the buyers are foreign Chinese buyers. And of course, they're investing in that too, right? Because it's a vice. And, not only is it a device, it also is going to be a big, huge part of alternative medicine in America. So you have products that service chemo patients. You have products that service children. You have products that service epilepsy, people with seizures. There's even one drug on the marketplace that's helping people with itching. I have no clue what type of itching disorder or disease it is, but it's helping them with itching. So I thought that was pretty funny. Not the disease, but I mean, like, to have a researcher be studying itching with cannabis and how did he test that on people and rabbits and whoever, which I thought was quite interesting. That would have been something to watch. So did anybody have any more questions? I wasn't going to be here all day. It's kind of a Friday. We're going to go back to DC on Saturday, then probably head back to Texas on Monday or Tuesday or something of that nature. And then second week, we'll see it all in Detroit. If anybody's in Detroit, definitely hit me up. I'll be there with my bodyguard, aka Aisha Denton of Denton Construction, the big company there doing really big things. Did anybody have questions? Do you have questions on the tax lien course? Did you have questions on any of the books? That's pretty much the open door of round of questions we want to do today. Sorry, I have a message coming in through the Facebook. Let's see what they have to ask. Someone asked, was Kanye one of the investors? I didn't see Kanye. Thank you for your Facebook question, but I didn't see Kanye's name on the list of celebrities that were investing. He could be, though. He could be one of the investors. I don't know on that one. Let me see your other questions. They do, ePIMP. We talk about that. That's a big thing in the companies. The companies that actually do essential oils and extracts and the capsules form make way more money than the other companies who just focus on dry plant. There's so many opportunities. Like when you check inside the course, you'll see where it's just gummies and candies and soaps and you name it. They are using it in so many ways across so many potential medicines. It's so interesting. It was really a great thing to learn. And it's a really great opportunity for people to get their foot in the door. And you don't have to pick the riskiest ones. You can just pick one out of the 15 different investment ways we talked about in that part of the course. You can just pick one of those and be satisfied. I even talked about the one I picked via Stockpile app because you can buy fractional shares on Stockpile app. And I talked about the fact that some of y'all won't be able to buy some of those on Robinhood app. And that's really important. I know it's a 30-second delay, so I'm not in a super big rush. It's Friday, and some of y'all are getting ready to get your cookout on. Let's see. Any other questions? Definitely let me know. Let me see if I have a map I can share with y'all before I leave. And what's funny is the amount of questions I've gotten about this marijuana course, because a lot of people don't want us to be seen commenting, I guess, about marijuana on Facebook or YouTube. So let's see. I'm gonna share this one more time. Let me see here. All right, look at there. Okay, that's that map of legality. Again, that map keeps changing and it will change more by November for sure. And Illinois has to change now because the law they just passed. Let's see. What do we have here? Bishop Blueprint, no, I mostly focus on the tax lien side. I don't need a real estate attorney for that. Each state's different. Real estate attorneys really focus more on deeds and deed type states. So you'll be talking more about Texas and North Carolina. Be Great, where do you get the course to purchase? It's actually in the description of the video, but I'll actually put it here in the comments so that everybody can have an opportunity to click on it and review it for themselves. Putting it in there now. Man, let me know if you have any problem clicking on it. Cam Fats, thank you. What's up? ePIMP, thank you for your wealth of knowledge. Thank you. I appreciate it. Blueprint. Also, thank God for finally dropping the course. I will buy it in a few minutes. Yeah, we've been going back and forth. Like we lost the slides. They just disappeared. We had to add them back in there. It was a trip. And then some of the pharmaceutical stuff had changed overnight. And some of the graphs, we had to, I mean, it's been a work. It's been some work. So let's see what else. Trending business. Okay, thank you, Trending Business. Appreciate that. Randy says, are you going to visit the marijuana dispensaries while you're in the district? You know what? That would be interesting to add to the video tomorrow. I may do that. Who knows? I may add it to the course. I really want to get into the marijuana business conference because I think that'd be a wealth of not only interviews, but connections. That's a lot of people with money right there. If you don't think some of these companies, some of these marijuana dispensaries are buying commercial buildings and land all over Colorado, you're crazy. That's where that money's being put. But the reason I'm big on this is because what I see happening is Jeff Sessions is going to do this last big push of like, lock them up. You know, even he mentioned, let's lock up drug dealers for life. And I'm like, lock up drug dealers for life? I mean, that's a little extreme, don't you think? And sure enough, and that map, even that map that I'm showing on there, It isn't even including Miss Louisiana and Arkansas. So I'm kind of mad that I even shared that map. Louisiana and Arkansas are also under medical use. So this map, even though it's literally a month old, I mean, no, it's 2 months old, it's already inaccurate. This is pissing me off. So I got to go change that. I'm not going to change it there. I'm going to leave that alone, but I'm going to add a new map into another part of the course. But it's really changing that fast, and it's pushing that way. So even if Jeff Sessions is like, we're going to lock up drug dealers for life, I want to encourage you, if you want to be in the industry and you want to have a grow place, move to California, move to freaking Washington, move to Oregon, move to Colorado. ePimp, thanks for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. You guys are super nice today. I appreciate that. Tim Williams, inside tip. Some are using cannabis, no THC oil, to treat animals in anxiety in animals, dogs and horses. Oh yeah, if you look at the course, we even have it showing food products for dogs. I mean, it's a big industry, you guys. It's bigger than a lot of people think. And we talked about in the last video, which I guess I'll link them together or something. We talked about in the last video about how hemp went away. Hemp went away because a movie, what was the movie called, everybody? Was it Reefer Nation? I think it was called Reefer Nation, Reefer Madness or something. Was like, oh my God, when Mexicans and blacks smoke reefer, they go crazy, right? So what ended up happening is it was used as this giant, and when they say go crazy, it meant like rape, pillage, fight, murder. It was used to market the destruction of hemp. And why? Because paper products, the guy whoever started the paper company in the United States at that time was going hard against it. There were several people kind of letting this hate campaign, go on because they wanted to get rid of hemp because it was this big dominant figure, and it was used in clothes. I mean, we're talking about hemp was used in clothes and products and in satchels and you name it. It was used in just everything you could think of. Because even now, there's some of the tribes in Michigan. The other tribe is in Minneapolis, I think they are, but they are on reservation lands growing hemp and challenging sovereignty laws and like government, and like some of them are building it on adjacent land to the tribe, and like even the federal government came onto one of the tribes and destroyed all their hemp products. And when they said, hey, this isn't marijuana, this is hemp products, it was very interesting. The government tried to do this kind of push and pull thing. It was quite interesting. So oh, yeah. Thank you, K-Fam. That is true. K-Fam said you could put a date posted under the map in the course, then a link to more frequently updated map. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jeff Sessions will hopefully get booted. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people who are tied to this current administration won't be around for the second round, even if one of them stays. I'll just say it that way. Not to be overly political. Thank you, K-Fam. I appreciate that. K-Fats. Cam Fats. I don't know how to say that. LaShawn Major, $5. Thank you for the super chat. You guys are awesome today. Thank you. Patrick, I don't know how to say that last name. Reading the laws and requirements for cannabis to start with engineering consulting. So Patrick, a lot of the information we have in there is talking about just that. Like you can connect to many of these venture capitalist companies, many of these investment groups. They have open sessions. There was one, they met in Austin a month ago and I didn't even know about it. They had where you can go and ask several questions and connect people. It's super, this is an exploding industry. And what I fear is people are going to be like, well, like cold brew. I don't know what the word is, but cold brew all of a sudden is everywhere. There's like a bajillion different cold brews. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm locked out of cold brew now. Can't have my cold brew company. And I'm like, you can, you're just a little late to the game. And so that's kind of how I feel with medical marijuana. And as the states keeps changing and keep voting, even some of the maps I had were wrong, and they just changed it in May. So look at Always Ready 24/7 said something university, get your certs. DM Brown said liquid/medical marijuana is approved in Georgia. It is, but there's some people who, let's say they want to own a vape shop, or let's say they want to own a grow house. How do they get to those parts in those states, right? They won't be able to, those states still have some funny room in there, some wiggle room in the laws. But they are starting to change. Again, you have to stay on top of this. Yes, Christine Jennings, Stash Invest does has cannabis oil ETF. That is true. Again, using your phone and reviewing some of these, because just with StockPal app, right? Some people were asking me to do a review on StockPal app. And when I went to review it, I was like, it's good. I mean, you can do fractional shares. You only spend 99 cents. A lot of people are like, well, no, I'll stick with Robinhood. Okay, well, there's some you couldn't get a hold of in Robinhood app. And each app has its pluses and minuses, and they're a great way for you to get started. That's how I say it. ePimp, I don't think cannabis. So ePimp said, could cannabis and hemp replace poppy and cocoa crops over the border? No, I think the real play is in some of the research we were doing. The companies that were in Canada and tried to kind of make a push to Colorado and California kind of got their hands slapped by the federal government. So, so in order for those companies, even if they're across the border and they're our friend to the north, I think the friend to the south border would have a really hard time. Does that make sense? I think the best play for this would be a lot of those grow houses would be in those cash crop areas of what I'm talking about, is like Wyoming and Illinois and the Midwest and a lot of these states that were all of a sudden. Why do you think Arkansas and Louisiana are all of a sudden all about this medical marijuana? Because they're grow areas, they're warm climates. You know, Arkansas is always looking for something to add to its economy, because sometimes its economy sucks, and so many people are leaving Arkansas. It don't make no sense. Louisiana's the same. Now, I wouldn't trust Louisiana as much. They are so corrupt. I don't care what you say. Louisiana is super corrupt, and I'd have a really hard time wanting to start a cannabis business industry or anything of the sort in Louisiana. Ray LLC, hello. Patrick, what networking events are available to go? I've been looking for some in Colorado and Florida. We name a ton of websites and a ton of events in the course. So feel free to grab the course and go from there. There's so many, I can't just rattle them off the brain, but there's a lot of opportunities. But a lot of these come from investment clubs looking for investors. So some of these private equity funds are going to say no if you're not an accredited investor. And then a lot of them are going to say yes, because they're investing in all various parts. They're invested in gummies, chocolate bars, soaps. There was one, it's a coffee. It's a coffee infused with some kind of oil, capsules for pain. There's a lot of going on with the senior citizen homes, kind of viewing dispensaries, getting mints. They had breath mints at one, and the box was like this big, but the mints were like $24. But again, taxes, that state laws. But again, thank you, LaShawn Major, for the $5. Thank you, ePimp, for the $5. Also, thank you, Jonathan Phillips, for the $5. You guys have made it awesome today, super chat. But again, the courses and the links, I'll put it one more time here below. The key here is, if you want to get in the industry and you want to invest, you got to do it the right way. You got to follow the laws, and that way no one can kind of take it from you. Does that make sense? No one can stop you from being involved in this great economic boom that's right in front of your face. I'm gonna make sure I put this in here right. Sorry about that. Anthony Allen, got to catch up. Yeah, Anthony, you're going to have to catch up on the replay. We're not going to hold everybody here too long on a Friday. But yeah, I even talk about the best ETF pick, the worst ETF pick, the sinful ETF, how do you have direct exposure? You know, just we go over a lot of stuff, ground floor investing options, how to start a grow house is in there. All that good stuff is in there in the course. So let me see here. Computer's cutting. Oka, always ready 24/7, said Okerstan University is the first cannabis college in the country. It opened up in 2007. Good to know. Thank you for sharing. BC, thank you, Erica. Thank you for joining us today. Again, also, if you guys have purchased the book, there's over 500 copies purchased off of Amazon, and we have 6 reviews. I would love if anybody today would put a review up because, hey, we want to show people we got good product. Also, if you just want to take a picture with your hard copy book, I've actually been throwing their pictures up on Instagram, and it's in the highlighted pictures. Thank you for those who've been sending me those. They're awesome. Oh, there's also a link to favorite things. Someone asked me about my hair, what, the books I read, and I just been linking it up there. Erica's favorite things, and you guys should see it. I think I'm gonna put it in the. Hold on a second. I should be able to put it in the comments. Patrick Onese, he said the course is based on general laws or state by state laws. Well, it's changing so quickly, Patrick, that honestly, it's like it's a growing thing for us, and it's a growing thing for this course. I fully think I'm probably going to update this course probably in 6 months. I'm putting the other link in there for you guys. There you go. All right, anyway, you guys, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. We're not going to be here too long. I want to thank you guys for joining us here on this Freedom Friday. If you need to get a hold of me, consoles are always below. If you want to grab the Smartphone Millionaire book or Money on Tap, links are below. If you're ready to grab the marijuana course, links are below. You guys have an awesome Friday.